Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. My name's William. This is Assetto Corsa Competizione, and today I'm going to be driving the Mercedes AMG GT4, one of the last couple cars here from the GT4 pack released on ACC. I'm going to have a hot lap for you guys so you can get an idea of the way the car sounds, the way the interior looks, the dash, all that kind of good stuff. And then after the hot lap, going over my initial impressions of the car and ultimately whether or not I recommend it or if it is if there's something just awful about it that I really think that you guys should know. I'll have that part after the hot lap, as well as going over the setup options, what is adjustable, what isn't adjustable. Maybe there's a couple different weird things about this car as far as that goes. So you'll get an idea of what you'll have to work with if you do decide to drive the car, and you'll kind of get an idea of what you're getting into there, if that's ultimately what you decide to do. Um, I really don't know what to expect out of this car. I don't know. Uh, it's a Mercedes AMG. It makes me kind of think a little bit muscle car. That's just what this car's vibe always gives me. But I really don't know. So interested to hit the track and see. I'll have the hot lap up for you guys next, and then I'll give you guys my impressions of it afterwards. Enjoy. All right, so that was a hot lap in the Mercedes AMG GT4. My initial response is it is exactly what I expected for a Mercedes AMG GT4 car. The sound, really aggressive, rumbly, um, brutal, really sounding. Big thumbs up for me on that. Uh, it's exactly like I said what I expected from the car. The feel driving wise, um, actually a little bit of a surprise with how good the front end of the car felt. Um, very responsive. Not too much though. It did feel like it was a front engine car. Good on the brakes. You could tell it had some power and some torque whenever you got onto the throttle, which I liked as well. In my mind, this is kind of like a big German. Um, it's not that big of a car, but it's a German muscle car kind of feel, and that's the way it drives. It's very aggressive sounding. It still handles really nicely, but it's got the punch and the grunt that the noise would kind of suggest it does. So it feels very good, feels very alive to drive as well, especially whenever you're getting close to that throttle pedal. There is a little bit of just kind of a it feels like it's lacking a little bit in a couple areas as far as unlocking the speed, and that might just be characteristics of the car. It didn't feel nearly as nimble as like the Cayman, but still a really fun to drive, and one I was actually really looking forward to as well. So a thumbs up for me on this car as well. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, I don't think. But and I don't think it is going to be as fast as something like the 718 Cayman. Um, but character, the car definitely has some character and kind of lets you know in a pretty aggressive way. So I liked it. As you can see, the time there. We'll go ahead and take a look at the setup and things that are adjustable in it. So you've got your toe, camber, caster adjustments on the front, as well as obviously tire pressure and toe and camber on the rear. This car has quite a few traction control settings. It I think you're gonna need a few to really manage it. It does feel kind of squirmy on throttle. You'll probably be able to do some other setup things to kind of help that get the car a little bit more underneath you. But um, yeah, just the way the car's geared too, like um, most of the corners, I felt like I had a proper gear to be in, but because of that, you're right on the power whenever you're getting into the throttle for corner exits. So traction in this car is going to be probably where you make or break your time. Um, but the other thing is this car does have ECU maps. So one is it seems to be the fastest, with three being significantly noticeable on how much less power is available for you there. But nevertheless, ECU maps there for you. Um, on the suspension side of things, limited adjustability for the anti-roll bar on the front and the rear. The kind of standard 10 to 80 for the preload on the differential. You can adjust the brake bias in this car, unlike one of the other ones there. Only 3 settings for the wheel rates on the front and none on the rear. So this is a pretty soft on the rear compared to some of the other ones. You can adjust the bump stop rate on the rear. No bump stop range adjustments at all. So this is the wheel rate you're getting on the car. On the rear of it, in all honesty, I mean, that just means you're going to have to look elsewhere, really, to make adjustments. But that is kind of something that could definitely hinder the car in certain scenarios, or it's something that you're going to have to tweak around with other things. Just basically working with that compromise, essentially. On the dampers for the car, adjustable bump and rebound front and rear. No fast bump, no fast rebound for the front or the rear of the car. And then we can take a look at the Aero side of things. So you can see a pretty massive adjustment that you can make on the front of the car. No splitter for the AMG. You do have quite a few more rear wing settings than some of the other cars. So you can fine tune your downforce that you're wanting from the back of the car. That is nice. You can really probably use that to get the absolute most out of the straight line speed of the car, while being able to kind of dial in how it handles through the high speed corners. And it'll also definitely help you in braking zones and whatnot, running more downforce and stuff like that. And then you can see also on the rear a pretty large adjustment in your rear ride height as well. So that's pretty much an overview of what you have to work with. A couple of the odd things that you have on the car for like the ECU adjustments, and then some things not adjustable, like the wheel rates on the rear of the car. But that is the Mercedes AMG GT4. Like I said, it gets a thumbs up for me. I like these kind of cars. It is a it's a very expensive car in real life, the road going version of it, but I wouldn't necessarily look at it and think race car, kind of like the BMW. It is definitely more of a race car, in my opinion, than the BMW whenever I look at them, but nevertheless, fun to have it out here in full race car trim and be able to thrash it around the track. Good fun, great sounding, um, and yeah, it's character. The car definitely has some character, so a thumbs up for me. We'll be back to finish off the last two cars before too long. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.